Barbados has lost one of its great patriots, and I have lost a dear friend. It was with a most profound sense of personal sadness that I learned today of the passing of my dear friend and a true builder of Barbados, Harold Fitzherbert Hoyte, at the age of 78. While Harold had been ailing for some time, and the nature and extent of his medical situation served as fair notice that his end might be near, that knowledge has not been nearly enough to blunt the impact of the news. The country, I've said, has lost truly a prize son who has contributed more than his fair share to the development of post-independence Barbados. It would be impossible to separate that name, Harold Hoyte, from the path of journalism in Barbados and the Caribbean over the past 60 years. Equally, it would be impossible to separate him from the story of success of the enterprise known as the Nation newspaper. There is no Barbadian who would fail to recognize the critical role that the Nation newspaper has played in contributing to the safeguarding of Barbados' stability since independence. In fact, the Nation newspaper, and by extension the Nation Publishing Company, with Harold Hoyte as its leader, represents one of the most potent symbols and examples of business successes by Barbadians in our post-independence history. Harold understood Barbados and Barbadians. We saw the evidence in his editorial judgments and in his professional and indeed political commentary. It was clear to all that he never lost contact with the pulse of the people, that throughout his career this remained a defining feature of Harold. He loved his country, and he was never afraid to speak truth to power in its fervent defense. I can tell you that politicians on all sides of the political divide would think twice before they dared to ignore him, and they knew that they did so at their own peril, for he was an astute judge of Barbadians, particularly on those matters he so fondly referred to as bread and butter issues. In my eyes, Harold Hoyte was more than worthy to hold any and all offices in this land. He volunteered his time and his intellect in ways too numerous to count, but for me, one of his seminal contributions was his service on the Commission on Law and Order, established during my tenure as Attorney General. At a very personal level, my friendship with Harold became even closer in the last 10 or so years, where he was a pillar of strength for me, and where I knew I could rely on both those virtues of which I had just spoken, but also his utter discretion and wise counsel. I shall miss him, as will many Barbadians, for his political and editorial commentary, but above all, I shall miss him as a warm, generous, and committed human being. To his wife Noreen, to his children Tracy and Bobby, and his grandchildren and the rest of Harold's family, I extend deepest sympathies, and on behalf of a grateful nation and people, I extend to them the offer of an official funeral as a small but initial token of appreciation for his immense contribution to this country. May he rest in peace.